The concept of birthright citizenship has been a cornerstone for American immigration law, enshrined in the 14th Amendment of the US Constitution, which guarantees that any child born on the US soil automatically receives American citizenship. Well, this provision has been very important for many migrants, specifically those from India whose children born in the US are granted citizenship regardless the parents' immigration status. However, US President Donald Trump is now challenging this long-standing tradition. Shortly after returning to the office for the second term, Trump signed an executive order aimed at revoking birthright citizenship, which was blocked by a federal judge. Now, as the case moved to the US Supreme Court, Trump is not only seeking to have his policies enforced, but is also advocating for a significant shift in judicial power. Instead of merely asking the court to rule on constitutionality of his executive order, Trump's legal strategy seeks to limit the authority of federal judges, particularly their ability to issue nationwide injunctions that prevent the enforcement of presidential action. He argues that such injunctions disrupt the function of the executive branch and create uncertainty in national governance. Well, this case is therefore has implications far beyond the issue of birthright citizenship. It raises questions about the balance of power between the executive and the judiciary and the ability of courts to actually challenge and restrain presidential policy. In the meantime, Trump's critics see the issue from a very different perspective. They contend that the nationwide injunction in this particular case is actually justified due to the potential harm that Trump's executive orders could cause to over 150,000 children born annually in the US to non-citizen parents, including many in the Indian American community. New Jersey Attorney General Matt Platkin, leading the opposition, argues that citizenship should not depend on where a child is born or whether their home state is involved in the legal proceeding or not. He emphasizes that the Constitution guarantees equal treatment for all the citizens regardless of any geographical location. Well, for the Indian families, this case is particularly significant. Many Indian nationals residing in the United States on H-1B visa or student visas have children who are born in the US. Now, if Trump's executive orders were to be upheld, these children might no longer be granted the US citizenship automatically, despite being born on the American soil. Now, this uncertainty could have long-lasting implications for their legal status, their education, and future opportunities. Moreover, the broader issue of judicial authority and the potential erosion of checks and balances in the US legal system could have far-reaching consequences for immigrant communities, including the Indians. Also, legal scholars have pointed out that nationwide injunctions have become more common in recent years. They trace the rise of such injunction to the Obama administration, which faced several injunctions during its tenure, including those challenging in deferred action for childhood arrivals. Similarly, President Biden had encountered multiple injunctions, including one from the Texas judge blocking his administration's anti-money laundering law. Well, these cases highlight the growing tension between the executive and judiciary, particularly over policies that affect national interest. The debate over nationwide injunction has also been a point of contention among the US Supreme Court justices. Some justices have expressed concern about the practicality of such injunction, arguing that they lead to confusion and inconsistent application of the law. On the other hand, some have criticized the ability of litigants to forum shop, choosing courts based on their likelihood of receiving favorable ruling. In her view, it is problematic for a district judge to have the power to block the national policy. So see it in this way. If the Supreme Court rules in Trump's favor, it could fundamentally change the way the presidential policies are challenged in near future. The ruling could pave the way for the new president, allowing the executive branch to implement policies without being subject to nationwide judicial restraints. For Indian families and other immigrant communities in the US, this would create a more uncertain and potentially hostile environment where the rights of individuals could be at the mercy of presidential decisions without sufficient judicial oversight.